Welcome to the Patty Show. My name is Patty Setiadi, and in this podcast, we'll explore the crossing point of the 3 Ps: passion, pleasure, and positivity, and how they can lead you to your own personal paradise. We'll chat with inspiring guests, share practical tips, and dive into stories that will empower you to live your best life. Let's get the Patty Party started. Welcome back to the Patty Show, everybody. Woo! Yeah. Oh, my studio audience, thank you. Wow, a lot of energy today, studio audience. Appreciate you. Arigato, terima kasih, all that good stuff. Welcome to the Patty Show, y'all, episode 38. You know, we're focusing on positivity, spreading love and kindness. Shout out to all the moms there. We're recording this on Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to my future baby mama. I love you, girl. You know who you are. Thank you very much for coming to the Patty Show. We're embracing positivity today. Before we continue on the episode, I just want to shout out our previous guest, travel nurse Zaira Ramirez. Thank you so much, girl. She's one of the OGs I met at college, traveling a lot. Shout out to Chase. Chase will sponsor the episode soon. Chase Bank, Chase with a Sapphire Preferred, all the credit cards, travel points. What's in your wallet? I think that's Capital One. I think that's Capital One, actually. I'm sorry, but just give me all the miles and all the points on the Patty Show, okay? Speaking of travel, my guest today, he has traveled a lot recently as well. For my little intro, okay, joining me is a creative mind that writes, directs, acts. He does it all. He always brings the vibes on set, the basketball maestro, little step back action, the fry cook at the Krusty Krab. Oh, yeah. A fellow Indonesian prince himself. Give it up for Max Tepper, everybody. Woo! Max, thanks for coming on the Patty Show.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you, my brother. Please, bro, if you could give a little self-intro to everybody, you know, background, your socials, of course.
Yeah.
And then, you know, hobbies and how we met.
Oh my goodness, I just got the fry cook reference. You got that from my Facebook.
There we go. I told you I do my research on the Patty Show, so watch out.
He's Nardwar out here.
I'm just looking everywhere.
Anyways, yeah, self-intro. First socials, I would just say, like, I'm mostly on Instagram. So if you just look up Max Tepper, Max Tepper.
Yes, sir.
I'll come up. My Instagram is basically just like my name with like an underscore at the beginning and the end. It's pretty simple. But yeah, I'm born and raised in LA.
LA, let's go. How do they do LA?
Los Angeles, California. Yeah.
LA.
And I lived in Jakarta for about a year when I was like 9, 10. And when I moved back, I did a lot of like moving around even within LA. So like I lived for a couple months in Torrance, then like not Culver City, but like near the Fox Hills Mall, and then to Beverly Hills for a little bit. Not that part of Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah.
Like
shout out Beverly Hills High School.
No, do not shout out. No. I know way too many people of those people. And no. Yeah, so from Beverly Hills, went to the Valley, moved to Encino. Encino we can shout out.
Shout out Encino. Yeah, we love you up there. What we got up in what's over there in Encino, by the way?
Not much.
But shout out to everyone over there.
Actually, Ventura Boulevard does have a lot of like sushi restaurants.
Oh, man, okay.
Shout out sushi.
There it is. Shout out sushi. Yeah, there it is. Shout out sushi.
And then I went to school in like Woodland Hills. Then like moved out of Encino recently. Did a bunch of traveling recently, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Oh, yes, sir.
And then what was it? Now I live in Culver City, and basically career goals, like I'm a filmmaker. You know, I'm grinding out with that. Hobbies, like I'm a big basketball guy.
Yes, sir. Yes,
big
sir.
Basketball nerd. I'm a big politics nerd, which makes me kind of, I don't know. I'm not like proud to say that, but it is what it is. Yeah, big movie guy. Love music, you know. Love going out with friends.
Yes, sir. Very passionate man.
Yeah.
Very diverse man as well. Because what's the background exactly? What's the parent split?
Yeah. So my mom's side is Chinese-Indonesian.
Chinese-Indonesian, all the Chindos out there.
Shout out to Chindos.
Chindos, yes, there's a lot of us out there.
My dad is Ashkenazi Jewish.
Oh, wow. Interesting combination.
Yeah.
How did they meet, by the way, bro? I've always been curious about this story.
Okay, so there's a cool story, right? So my dad went to Indonesia in the 80s, early 80s, because he went to Sarah Lawrence College in New York.
Okay, so what kind of college is that? It's like
he was doing theater.
Oh, okay.
So theater and
entertainment's already been in the background.
Oh, that's awesome. That's all in there, you know. And so he was doing theater, and he was always had like a fascination with martial arts ever since he was a kid. You know, he grew up watching like Bruce Lee,
of course,
and whatever,
legend, man, legend.
and he used to take his dad to like the worst parts of town, because those are the only theaters that will show these things.
Really?
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, these grindhouse theaters. So he was big into these martial arts movies, and so he took a fencing class in college, but for whatever reason the class got shut down, and they're like, here's an alternative class you could take, is a class that studies silat, which is
Puncak silat.
Yeah,
Indonesian martial arts. Yeah.
And so he was like, yeah, I'll take the opportunity. I'll fly to Indonesia and whatever. So he went to Indonesia in the early 80s, and he kind of like fell in love with the place, fell in love with like the culture, the martial arts itself and everything.
And of course, the women.
Well, yeah,
that's how he's here. Shout out to that.
That's how I'm here.
Thank you, Dad.
He was the OG passport. Bro.
OG.
No, man, but he was there for a minute before he met my mom.
Wow.
So he was there, like, he studied the language, studied the martial arts.
That's awesome, bro.
He's traveled all throughout Indonesia, did some traveling throughout Asia too, in which case he has crazy stories about. And so then he goes back and forth between LA and New York and Indo. Then he lives in San Francisco, then LA, does a lot of moving around himself.
Was he doing like acting, or what kind of job?
He was doing, when he moved to LA, he was trying to get into film. He was going to make it big, and then there was a whole thing with his writing partner, which is his business to tell, but there was that's a whole crazy story right there. But basically it ended up not working out, and somebody was saying like, look, you know, your writing partner is getting you into a lot of trouble, so it's best that you separate from him. My dad's like, okay, yeah, that's a good point. What can I do now? What options do I have at my disposal? He goes back to Indo, and I like, the story of my life is all roads lead back to Indo. You know, and so he goes back to Indo, and he's there working for the MGM office in Indo. But obviously, like, he still goes to Bogor on the weekends, which is because that's where his silat is. That's where the martial arts is happening. Bogor, for those of you who don't know, it's like the equivalent of like if you're in LA, that would be like Orange County. Like it's kind of like the city, like outside of the city. You know? So you go there. So you went there, and he's hanging out in a tea garden. And my mom's parents belong to the same organization, but they never met. That's crazy. My dad and her parents. And so my dad's just chilling with his friend in the back of a pickup truck in a tea garden. He's looking up at the sky, and his friend says, and you know, these people are like very mystical. They got all these stories. Like, I don't believe, I'm very like science driven outside of Indonesia.
Like facts based. I'm like,
inside of Indonesia, anything's possible. Bro.
No,
Black
for real.
Magic, sorcery, whatever.
All the types of magic, man.
So my dad's chilling with his friend, and they're just looking up at the sky, and my dad's friend goes, "You're gonna meet your future wife today." My dad goes, "Man, what the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, you crazy. You crazy. Yeah, you bugging, right? Yeah,
so he gets off of the truck, and he's like, "What's going on?" He goes around the truck, and he bumps into my mom.
You're lying, bro.
My mom
ain't no way.
By the way, happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
My mom, if you're listening, Tante Lisa, which with Patty knows my mom.
We appreciate you. Appreciate you so much.
And yeah, so they bump into each other, and then it was and then a couple years later they get married. A few years later they have me. You know.
Bro, that's what. Hold up, where's your dad's homie, man? I need him to find my love. Yeah, bro, we need to go to Indo, bro, to find. I need to find my baby mama. Like I said, I don't know who you are yet.
I was listening to a previous episode. You said your baby mama's possibly in Sweden. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's the next trip that we have to do, man. You know, Sweden.
I don't want to know the story behind it.
That story will be revealed eventually. I don't know if I can reveal the whole parts. Because I think my mom keep watching the show, and I don't want her to get upset. Love you, mom. Love you, mom. Yeah, for real. But bro, that's crazy, man. So wow, I'm still processing that whole thing. So Pops literally just ran into the love of his life because his homie was like, "Hey, man, I got this magical spiritual feeling that I know you're gonna find your woman." Yeah, that's insane.
It's like, that whole martial arts school is like, just I hear like these crazy stories about it, and it's not just my dad saying them, it's like other people being witness to it. And so I'm like, damn, like
it's hard to explain. Like, if y'all haven't been to Indonesia, like obviously there's the touristy stuff, you know, Bali, we love Bali, shout out Bali. We'll talk about that eventually, but like a lot of the traditional, like, you know, local spots and everything, there's a lot of that, like I don't even want to call it black magic because not all of it is like bad. It's just
No.
It's for like Western people or even for us, it's like just hard to understand.
It's very mystical.
Mystical,
it kind of
yeah.
exists on a different plane of reality.
Absolutely.
It's like this is so bad. If you guys have watched Doctor Strange, it's like it's like a milder version of that.
Yeah.
And everybody from Indo has like ghost stories and whatever.
Bro, 100%.
Yeah.
Indonesians, like, they probably have some of the craziest ghost stories. Like the movies too are. I hate horror personally, but shout out to Indonesian like storytelling. They're crazy, so detailed. I watched that premiere of that what's it called? That Indo horror film that just came out like a month ago.
The Joko Anwar film.
I think Pabrik Gula or whatever. Something like that.
Yeah.
I saw with Arnold. It was
Yes, I do.
Bro,
I remember
that movie was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Indonesian talent, bro. That's what we got like Indonesians here. We're taking over, y'all. 4th most populated country in the world, about to be the 3rd most populated because of us.
We up next.
You know what I'm saying? But bro, it's like the talent in Indonesia is just so amazing. So that's why. Flower section. Here comes the flower section. Bro, thanks for coming on the show, man. Indonesian talent right here from day one. Homie got me, man. How did we meet though? Actually, bro. Now I want to see your side of things. How we kind of connected and
I remember what I said. All roads lead back to Indo, right? So I was shooting a film in my class. I wasn't even the one directing it. It was Nicholas, who was on a previous episode.
Yes, sir.
Shout out Nicholas. And he was shooting a film that was about his family's experience in Indonesia. And that was one of the thesis films for our class. It was called Glownoke 98. It's a great story. It's a great movie. I know you saw it too.
Yes, recently. Sir. Amazing. You started crying.
And so funny enough, I was like offered to audition for the actual main role. But my Indo is my Bahasa skills are cooked, so they're still cooked, but even more so back then.
Better, man, better.
And so we were just looking around for different Indonesian actors, and they had to be Chinese Indonesian specifically. Mm-hmm. We found Arnold, and then through there, like I became really cool with Arnold, and who's Patty's brother. And then this project comes up from my friend Cedric, who I met at an Indonesian filmmakers event.
Oh, that's how you all met? Actually, I didn't know. I didn't really know. I thought you guys knew each other from, I don't know. I guess
no.
From Indonesian filmmaking.
Yeah, event? All roads lead back to India.
No, for real, bro. It's crazy, man.
So we met through there, and then he's like, "Hey, I have this idea. I need your help because I know you can connect people here and there." Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, let me get Arnold on the scene. I have this part." For and this is a part where like this character has to dance and it's a lot of commitment. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, let me get Arnold on. Arnold ends up, for scheduling reasons, not able to. He's like, I'm not even going to audition because I just can't. He ends up being on my project that we film around the same time, coincidentally, because the scheduling worked better. But Arnold goes, hey, I actually have a brother, though, that would be even more perfect for this part.
I just moved.
Yeah, that brother ends up being this guy over here. And so I was in contact, and I was thinking about it. I was like, bro, I was thinking back to our first conversations. Like, they were so formal.
Yeah, if we pull up the emails, I'm about to show up. Because I didn't know who to expect. Because he's like, yeah, my boy. I'm just like, I'm new to the industry here, bro. I just moved. I'm like, I didn't want to be like, yeah, what's up, my homie? I was like, hello, Max, or something like formal email. Happy Friday or whatever. I hope you're doing well. And then just send like the formal email. I was like, could you send the script over? Yeah. We go back and forth. And also like that time, bro, was when I first moved. So I was like working at multiple jobs. I almost didn't even submit a tape. Yeah. I think you remember when I was like, hey, bro, can I just send it tomorrow? I couldn't do it tonight.
It was funny. I forgot about that until I was listening to Cedric's episode.
Yeah.
And then Cedric and Victoria, their episode. And then I was like, oh my God, like I forgot that happened.
Yeah. So Arnold helped me out at the end because it was like 11 at night after I came home from like the restaurant job, bro. He was like, record it. And also like we talk about it in the episode with Cedric and Victoria. I didn't know any of the lines.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of the choreo at all because I was like, damn, rusty as hell, tired as hell. But I'm glad I submitted it and it worked out.
It hella worked out.
So shout out to you, man, for giving me the opportunity, man. And just like, it's funny, the Indo connection, but everyone especially in the Indo film scene here, LA, oh my God, everyone knows each other, if not of the other person.
Exactly.
Some way, somehow. And it's beautiful, man. We just keep growing, keep getting stronger. Before you know, we're going to take over. and they're not ready for us.
And then okay, so I'm going to give a little bit of my side.
Oh, please.
From that. So I forgot that you submitted late and everything, but all right. So you emailed me and I just sent it straight to Cedric. I didn't even watch it because I was so busy planning my film that I was directing, called Are We Still Friends? And I was like associate producer on Rhythmic Exercise with Priadi, which is the one that you were in. And then I was directing my own thing and I had to be my own producer. And
doing
so
a lot.
like,
This guy does a lot.
I was, those 2 months I was so busy. And so like, I just sent it straight through. I didn't even watch your tape. I just sent it straight to Cedric. Cedric goes, bro, he's perfect. And I'm like, I told you, man. I told you I'd get you I told you I'd get you the guy. I didn't watch your tape, bro. Yeah. And then what was it like? I hear you were like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even know like some of the lines or whatever." And I was like, you're fine. I'm sure like it worked out." I go back later on and watch your tape. Yeah. I'm like, this dude didn't know anything.
Bro, I read it off on the corner, bro. On God, bro. If you look at it again, I'm like,
yeah. But I see what Cedric saw. It's like, okay, the fact that you're like messing up your lines, but you're like, you still keep going, like you're still in character, but also like the way you portray that character. And I was like, okay, yeah, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, thanks,
like,
man.
You couldn't ask for like a better casting.
I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
I appreciate you, man. That's so funny. I love how you're like, yeah, man, that's the plan all along. You know? But that's life, honestly. Life, you really don't know who's gonna come into your life, and then like timing is the craziest thing. Because also we worked on another project together. You mentioned your own project that you wrote. What was it called again?
Yeah, it was called Are We Still Friends? It's still in post-production right now. And obviously big learning experience, and it should be done, but obviously like, we've been slacking off but we're trying to get back on track. But Patty does have a small part in the film. She plays basically like an alpha male, like Andrew Tate type of guy. Because the whole film is about like a guy getting over a breakup. And so this particular part about it's kind of like a learning lesson for people like that are going through that. It's kind of like, don't fall down that trap. And so there is a character, very small part in the film where I portray like that kind of figure.
The other side.
And you play that guy. And you're a little too good. All right? So
method acting.
There's a whole like when I scroll through my camera roll, there's like 20 videos I still have of you.
We took a lot of clips.
Yeah. You have funny, more than enough material.
I was having fun with it. After you were like, do your thing. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I got you, bro. And it's funny too because my brother actually plays the guy that I'm kind of talking to. So, and it's always funny because me and my brothers usually plays like similar role types.
Yeah.
Misogynist. Yeah, typecast. Misogynistic man, and what does he usually play? Like lover boy that gets his heart broken. Yeah. That's
for very different. I mean, all stories have been very different.
Yeah, all completely different. So it's just funny.
But like, there is that. It's funny that there is that connection. Yeah. But no, this dude is not. He's not a misogynist.
Yeah, no, thank you for letting me know.
Let me just. It's just a character.
It's just a character, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you see me in person, I'm not like that. Unless you want me to be like that. Shout out my Swedish future. No.
I gotta get out of here.
That's my cue to leave. Bro, man, that was such a fun time, man. Great process. Super quick and efficient. He picked me up in what's the car again?
The Toyota Mirai.
Mirai. Shout out to that. Toyota sponsor the Patty Show. With a hydrogen. What is this?
It's a hydrogen fuel car. I don't even want to get into that. It's a whole. Look. The car is great, but
sound system amazing.
It's amazing sound system. It's just. This is going to get kind of weird. Gavin Newsom, if you're watching, you need to build the infrastructure for the hydrogen cars. Anyways, that's all I have to say. Because it's tough out here. Anyways, that's all I'm saying if you have a hydrogen car.
Yeah. What he said. I don't really know much about it, but yeah, I respect it, bro. That's the passion.
But yeah.
That's the passion that
it's
we
just
love.
Like, Toyota sponsored the Patty Show.
Thank you very much. I don't got all of this stuff. But bro, we did mention, you do a little directing, writing.
Yeah.
Acting, though. I hear you're also a child actor.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah, what have you been in?
As a child, I was in like an episode of Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, okay.
So look up Hawaii Five-0 episode, season 7, episode 8. So 7, 8. It's easy to remember. I'm in that episode. I did like a short film, then a couple like one-liners and TV shows here and there. But yeah, I started acting when I was like I started getting into acting when I was like maybe like 6 or 7.
Oh wow, bro. Okay.
Did some like theater stuff, and then wanted to do TV because like shout out Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Like
Yes,
that.
sir. Yeah,
I wanted to be like them, you know. And so I got into that, but ended up moving to Indo like pretty quickly after that. Did some auditioning in Indo, but nothing happened, and then came back and it took a couple of years to like find my footing, but like 16 was when I got that role in Hawaii Five-0, and then since then, you know, just been acting ever since.
Nice, bro. That's
small
awesome,
parts,
man.
but you know, on building something bigger.
Yeah, man. That's all about taking those little steps. That short film though, what was it about, my man?
You already know that song. Yeah. So you're talking about Solo, right?
Of course,
Solo.
of course.
Okay, yeah. Solo is about a saxophone player who lives with his single father, and his single father is not too, you know, accepting of him wanting to play saxophone, and but he ends up finding a balance between, you know, father and son find a balance between each other, between like being able to connect with each other and still being able to play saxophone and stuff like that. So that was a cool experience too. Going from kind of like a big production on Hawaii Five-0 to like a few months later, this small like
more intimate
student,
kind of
student production, and I get a little bit more of the spotlight, you know, get to show off a little bit more of the chops,
and the range and everything.
And so it was cool. It was nice.
Man, that's awesome, man. You also did something called Palms, I believe.
Oh my god, yeah.
Nardwuar,
bro.
of course, man. You know.
Palms was the first thing that I ever booked.
Oh, okay.
That was with a previous manager of mine. That was like 2012, I think, 2011, 2012. And that was a short film. I had a very small role in that. That was about the director. He had adopted a son, and it was about his son's kind of journey through the adoption circuit. I don't know what to call it, the adoption circuit. And I play a kid of one of the foster parents that he goes through.
Okay.
So I wasn't it's weird because I don't know why when I was reading it, I thought I was the main character. And then I watched the movie. I was like, oh, this film is not about me at all.
You're like, I see myself for like 2 seconds.
Timothy Chalamet had like an interesting experience watching Interstellar. And so he was like, I thought I had a much bigger role, you know, and so he's just like me for real, you know.
Carbon copy, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he's just not Indo, you know. Like,
I'm Indo Timothy Chalamet.
There we go. Speaking of Timothy and long names, your original name though is it's not Max, is it? Huh?
God damn, bro, you did some digging. You did some digging for sure.
Of course, man. Of course.
My full name is Harrison Maximilian Dharmawan Raharja Tepper.
Okay, see, I didn't know the extra part. I didn't know. Damn,
I feel like if I say my full name, things in the room start floating.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, the black magic. So Harrison's the OG name. Okay,
that's the legal name.
That's the legal name in the documents and everything?
Yeah.
Where did that name come from? Like, how did your parents come up with that name?
Yeah, so Harrison comes from my uncle Harry.
Oh, awesome. There's a lot of Harrys. My grandpa's name is Harry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well,
shout out Harry.
Shout out all the Harrys.
Yeah.
We call him like Opa Ari because like they be...
Yeah, I always get called Adi.
Yeah, bro, there we go.
Yeah.
Indo. I'll come to
but yeah, my dad's uncle, his uncle Harry, he was, what was it? He lived with my uncle Harry for a while when he was a kid. My uncle was like actually like one of the first Jewish people accepted into like the Harvard medical school, because Harvard for a while didn't accept Jews, and then they had to break down. So he was one of the first.
Well, respect, man.
That's
awesome, bro.
And so so he was. I'm named after him. Harry became Harrison. You know, Maximilian comes from my dad's grandfather. His name was Maximilian, and so I inherited that as a middle name. Raharja is the last name of my dad's master in India.
Oh, okay.
And then Dharmawan is the name of my mother's father, who passed away right before I was born.
Gotcha.
And then Tepper obviously is the family name.
Yeah. Wow, man.
Yeah. So a lot of like history.
That's why I had to ask, because I'm like, because some people they just have the names like, yeah, my name is Zach because it sounds cool. You know?
Yeah.
You know, like it's. If the episode with Desmond and Nick, for example, Desmond got his name because I think his real name is Chi Hong Lo.
Yeah.
His real name, obviously, Desmond is like a name he chose, but it's from Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I could never tell. You know, maybe Max was from the Goofy movie. You know.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But that's so awesome. The history behind the names, and names are a powerful thing, man. Why did you end up staying with Max, for example, like to represent yourself? instead of like the other names, for example? Because you had a lot of options, right?
Yeah.
You could have said any other names. You could be Tep too, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
Right, you know?
Dr. Tepper.
Yeah, Dr. Tepper.
No, as a kid, like I don't know what I just always went through like some kind of identity crisis. So Max wasn't even the first name that I went by. So I used to go by like I was big into Superman, so I used to go by Clark. Make everybody call me Clark.
What?
And then it was Jake for a while, and then
like Jake Long, bro.
Yeah, like
Jake Dragon.
By the way, I would be so perfect
bro,
for like a live
No, for real, bro. That's actually hilarious.
Like,
I used to love that, bro. That's perfect.
I love
because that's white. Well, there we go, bro.
Yeah. And
Disney.
plus, born in the year of the dragon.
There we go.
Come on now,
Disney, stop playing.
Yeah, stop playing. What was the question about
the different names? Yeah. Jake, you said.
Yeah. So then I chose Max because that was always like I just thought it was a little bit. I don't know. I just thought it represented me a little bit more. Some people recently have said like you should start going by Harrison again. It's a little bit more mature, a little bit more unique. So I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but for now, I'm Max. For the foreseeable future, I'm Max. But you at home, you guys decide what you like better.
Yeah, what do we want? Harrison, Max, Maximilian, all the other names, all of them. There's a lot. There's a lot of options.
But it's not like I hide Harrison. Like it's I mean, if you look hard enough, you'll find it. But no, I mean it is what it is. Like, that's cool.
I don't
hide away from it.
I always think about it too with names too, because obviously real name, y'all, it's Patrick. Patrick Vincent Setiadi. That's a full government name. But Patty just resonated with me, and then it stuck. I think around high school.
Yeah.
When my friend, she called me that, and it kind of made sense because like the Pat and then the E part from like the last name Setiadi, so it kind of makes sense. It rolls out the tongue. So,
but I think it fits you, and that's the other thing is like your name needs to fit you. And so like sometimes I don't know if Harrison fits me, but Patty fits you.
Thanks, man.
I know Max fits me, and I have like friends with other like my friend Moose. Shout out Moose. His full name is Moosed, but he goes by Moose, and I think it just makes him a lot more unique, and everybody knows him that is now, and so. He's Moose,
it's the beauty of it. And you can always like reinvent yourself, do your own thing. That's the beauty of this like industry, and just it's cool, man, to have like all the different things. And I think the main thing is just experimenting and trying different things out because you never know what it's gonna take you. Especially when you're traveling.
Right.
I think it can also help having different names because you can run away. Speaking of run away, you did talk about your little travel stint. You went to Indonesia for a little bit. Where exactly?
Yeah, so I'll break it down. So I went to Indo, started in Jakarta, and stayed there until like December. So that was like November to like mid-December. Stayed there, and while I was in Jakarta, I took trips to like Bandung, which is like, I guess if you're like in LA, it'd be the equivalent of like San Diego, kind of.
That's a good, but that's actually really good.
It's like a much more like low key city. And Bandung's great, shout out Bandung. Also took a trip to Jogja, or as it's called, like Yogyakarta, which is a lot of like very like culturally rich.
The universities too over there, amazing.
Yeah. If you want to
be compared to
in America, it'd be kind of tough. It'd be something.
Maybe Boston.
I
was just about to say,
something very like culturally rich,
very rich,
but not as big as like say like New York.
It's definitely not like bustling because Jakarta and New York are pretty similar because like there's people everywhere. Traffic is ridiculous. Like
maybe Chicago, Boston,
maybe Chicago, Boston, something like that.
It's still a big city, but it's just not as like hustle bustle as like LA,
a lot of scholars
as Jakarta. But Yogyakarta is awesome, man.
Would you ever think of like living there for a little bit? Because you know why?
I just feel like Jogja is a little bit disconnected from Jakarta. Jogja is definitely a place I would want to vacation to because like it's much more low key, and there's great places in Jogja. There's Borobudur, obviously. Like, have you been to Borobudur?
No, bro.
Borobudur is like this Buddhist temple from like the 9th century or something like that, and it's a crazy hike to get up there, and it's just beautiful. I mean, I got pictures and whatever, and if you guys look on my Instagram account, I'm gonna tag my photo account where I'll post some.
Oh yeah, there we go.
So shout out that. But Borobudur is amazing. There's also Prambanan, which is like I think a collection of like different Hindu temples. Because Indonesia before it was majority Muslim, it was majority Hindu, and then I believe before that Buddhist. So there's a lot of remnants from those eras, and they preserve it really well. Amazing. So I did like a west to central Java tour while I was there. Around the holidays, like Christmas up to New Year's Eve, I went to Perth, Australia.
Oh, Aussies! Oi, oi, oi!
Oi, oi, oi.
Oh man, I gotta go. I've never been, but I've met a lot of Australians.
Oh man, it's
maybe I'll find my baby mama over there. Actually, forget Sweden, Australia. Patty should go down under 2026.
Down under meaning.
Oh!
Anyways,
that's gonna be on the.
No, but Australia is maaf tante.
Yeah, cut that part. Don't look at this part. Skip to the next 50 seconds.
But no, Australia is very cool. They're like Americans, but more laid back.
Bro, they're super chill, bro.
They're super chill. And then it's there's a lot in Perth too. Because it's so close to Indo. There's a lot of Indonesian people, and Perth was like just a whole other learning experience, and that's the thing why I always like encourage people to travel is because you learn a lot of things.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't even have to travel to a whole other continent or whatever. You travel from LA, you just go to Mexico, you'll learn a whole another way of life.
You go to a place where like you're not familiar with, you learn without forcing to learn. Like
right.
in the classroom, you're forced to like read the textbook, whatever. When you're traveling, you just absorb the stuff because like you're learning new languages, you're learning new directions, new like ways of living. Like people slow down in different ways. People wind down. People eat. You can learn from the food,
Yeah.
From the women, from the people, all that stuff, So Perth though, was it a family trip by the way?
Yeah. It was a family trip.
Family trip.
My mom's sister lives there.
Oh wow, that's a lot of Indos go to Australia. I swear.
Yeah. Because it's like the closest Western country.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, just pull up.
And there are a lot of Indonesian people there because me and my cousin like. We just call like other Indonesian people like teman-teman, which just means friends, Friends. So like whenever we hear the language in public, we go like teman-teman, and I got a couple other family members moving to Perth as well. And Perth it's considered the boring side of Australia, but
it's in the west, right?
Yeah, it's in the west. There's not much in the west, but I had a great time. If you have like a good tour guide, which I had great tour guides for my family.
Shout out to the family.
Shout out Jono. Jono showed me like some great places just south of Perth. We went gin tasting, so go gin tasting in Perth.
Damn, okay.
Which I didn't even know. Like I don't like gin, but that was an amazing experience. But yeah, it was just great, man. Like Perth is really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
So after Perth, where did we end up going after that?
Perth. Okay, yeah. From Perth, I was like,
we got a long journey. That's why I love this.
Yeah, Perth. So I was traveling for basically like 5-6 months.
Yeah,
right?
you were.
So from Perth, I went to Bali.
Oh yeah, island of
from Bali. I'll just summarize it real quick. So from Bali, I went to I had to go back to America for a little bit. So I hit up L.A., New York, Chicago within 2 weeks. Then I went back to Jakarta, back to Bali, back to Bandung for a little bit, then back to Bali.
This brother.
It was a lot.
Wow.
It was a lot. I got sick I've been sick like 4 times this year, and it's
a travel, bro.
Yeah,
jet lag, everything, eating, whatever, all this stuff, craziness, and
then like going from like Bali, which is like 90 degrees and humid, to New York, which was freezing. Yeah, which like
it's just not good for your body's not ready to like the equilibrium is like, what are you doing? Like
I was so thrown off, but it was. It was fun. It was fun.
So did you go with your family? How did it?
Yeah, so I went with my parents to Bali, America. When I went back to America for a little bit, L.A. saw friends, saw my mom's friends and everything, and at the time there were the fires and everything, and so I had to check up on people. Everybody was still a little bit traumatized being so close to the fires. My mom's friend, her house burned down unfortunately, and so I had to. I wasn't able to see her, but I had to drop off some clothes for her because she needed a wardrobe. New York, my whole dad's side of the family's in almost his whole family is in New York, so I stopped by to say hi to them. Chicago, I don't have anybody there, so I was on my own. Like I had to make friends for myself.
Yeah, that's cool, bro.
Which I ended up doing, which is cool. And then back to Indo, family and everything, and shit. So when I was in Jakarta, I was able to. The great part is this trip I got closer with my cousins, both in Indo, both in Australia, and then I also met my niece for the first time, and so and I got closer with family. So I'm super grateful that I traveled.
Man, sounds like a super fun trip, super transformative.
Very transformative. Yeah,
I know Bali is a fun place that I also enjoy personally.
Mhm.
When you traveled over there, did you have any time to yourself?
Yeah, I had a little bit too much time for myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes.
It was Bali was a very interesting experience.
Mm.
I would say it was a little heartbreaking at times, and it was a little definitely eye opening, definitely heartbreaking. There was sometimes I had company.
Interesting. Okay.
And then and yeah, I mean it was a lot. But more on like the time with myself, like it was so weird because I have all these goals that I want to do in life, and I feel like in Bali, like I kind of put a lot of that on hold. And it wasn't so much that like it was like mentally I couldn't lock in and get to writing because I want to write and everything. And I couldn't get to writing. I couldn't get to moving forward with my film. Are We Still Friends? It was partially my fault that it's been so delayed, is because like I just, you know, I don't know what it was. Like I just kind of like lost all motivation to do anything while I was in Bali. And I would try to plan my day out like, okay, throughout the day, I'm gonna just like rest up and, maybe watch some TV during the day, and then sunset, go to the beach, just go out, like run on the beach for a little bit, just hang out at the beach club at night, hit up a bar, go to the club, something, just keep myself like active, like while I'm in this amazing place.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it. But for like day after day, for some reason, like I just couldn't motivate myself to get up. I wouldn't say it was like a clinical depression, but it was like a weird sort of
like in a limbo.
Yeah, it was like a limbo, and I don't know. I just felt so stuck. It was a very weird feeling. And I was a little bit too reliant on others to motivate me. It was weird, It's not something I would have expected, but it that's how it happened, I don't know why, now I'm learning like, okay, for my next long trip, like I have to try to avoid that, keep myself moving as much as possible.
Hey man, it seems like you learned a lot from all the crazy experience. I know traveling also, that's another thing, especially doing like prolonged traveling. You said 5-6 months basically you were out.
Yeah.
Out and about. I kind of did that too right after COVID, bro. Like I was in Indo for like I think 8 months, 9 months or something like that. I was in Bali for a minute, like 3 months straight or 4, something like that. Love that place, but yeah, I've definitely had those days where Bali's amazing, but the thing is, sometimes, that motivation, man, to do anything can kind of go away because let's say you have a little too much fun. Externally, internally, whatever it is, shout out Shishi.
Shout out Shishi.
You gonna sponsor the Patty Show, number one customers over here.
Oh,
you know how we do.
Yeah. Shishi was, yeah.
If y'all don't know, it's an establishment, 3 floors of fun, good food, good energy, a lot of music. It's still three floors, right?
Yeah,
nothing really changed. Okay,
I only ever went to the top floor. In my opinion, that was
that's the best one.
That's the best
for
one.
sure. I think second floor is like techno or something like that.
Yeah, and no hate on that. It's just like when I dance, like I like dancing to like pop music, rap music, because like it just puts you in a good mood.
Yeah. And then the lyrics too, bro. That's my best thing because little tangent on travel, but when you're like you know the lyrics a little, it's like people can gravitate more towards you. People, and by people we mean future baby mamas.
Hopefully not.
No.
Hopefully not.
I reveal too much. That's for the OnlyFans comment. We were talking about. Please forgive us. Happy Mother's Day. But I'm glad you mentioned that motivation part actually, because now we're actually going to talk about our talking points. Yeah, so we just get distracted with all the stories and catching up. But it is about motivation, morning motivation specifically. So what inspires you, Max? On your morning motivation, what gives you that inspiration?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a morning person. So
interesting. Talk me through that. Yeah.
So none.
That's fair.
I'm like a 1 p.m. type of guy. So
so you think your most like creative, influential time is like around noon?
Yeah. So I would say like if I had everything like left up to my choice, like I'd probably wake up around 9 a.m. Breakfast, just want to chill for a little bit, and then I think it's like the afternoons when I really get started.
Awesome.
And so, but regardless, like there are times you do have to wake up in the morning and motivate yourself. And there's a learning curve to it for sure. There's a big learning curve to it, especially for me, because I'm not like a morning person. Like I can't see myself waking up at like 6 a.m. to go run or something like that, but there are benefits to it. And sometimes you literally just have to like suck it up and just wake up in the morning And sometimes, and then you'll learn, morning people, there is a truth to what they say. You get a lot of things done early in the day, and then you could like enjoy the rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
And so as far as like motivation goes, it's just, just trying to get things done. I'm trying to get things done. The morning is when I do it. The morning is the time that I have. So you just have to power through and get things done, and then you have the rest of the day to yourself. So if that's kind of like the donut you have to dangle in front of you while you're on the treadmill, if that's the thing that you have to
I like that what is it? That imagery right there. Yeah. Sometimes you do have to do that. Just push through, especially like, I mean, I think about our time like in high school and school where literally the school starts in 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning. So you kind of have to be a morning person most of the time. Now, obviously, as adults, which is neither good or bad, but you have like more flexibility in your schedule. Mm-hmm. So you can like do more work, let's say in mid-afternoon or even evening. I know some people are like night owls. Some of my brothers, they do most of their work at 2 in the morning. Shout out Dylan. He was also on the podcast. This guy, bro. He's crazy, bro. He's the one that's in pilot school right now. So
nice.
Yeah. So nice. I guess he could be good for like the red eye flights.
Red eye flights.
Yeah. So maybe that's probably good for him. Yeah. But bro, I'm glad you have that awareness too. I think that's important too, because it's one thing to like say, I'm just gonna do the morning thing just to push it. But if you know which one's more optimal for you, why not try to do it most of the time? Maybe some days you have to do the morning thing because just how our like I guess society is structured. Morning is usually the time when everyone does work and grind and all that stuff. But if you have time to do it like midday where you think like you're optimal, bro, like you can do twice as much work or whatever, more efficiency. Hey man, I recommend doing that on the Patty Show. That's really good advice, my man.
I'm sorry it wasn't such a super satisfactory
answer. I like that though, bro, because it's like people always think, oh yeah, just wake up early, and it's not that simple. Everyone is so unique in their own way, and there's successful people that sleep until 2 in the afternoon.
Oh yeah,
making millions, and there's some people that wake up at 2 in the morning and make millions too. And it's like
you have to find what makes you succeed, and that's the other thing too. You have to experiment.
Absolutely.
And so like I'm not saying like don't ever wake up in the morning.
Yeah,
try it. Try waking up in the morning. I just know like myself, like it's just hard to get myself to wake up in the morning. So I know like afternoon is my time. Afternoon to evening is my time, and then the rest. Before that, I have to like kind of prepare myself for the day, and then after that, I have to like decompress. That type of thing. But it's about knowing yourself.
That's awesome, bro. I think I love how you said the trial and error and just figuring it out, because you can listen to all the podcasts in the world. You can listen to the Patty Show 50 million times. Please do that. Subscribe at Patty Show Podcast on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that. OnlyFans. It's Patty Show Podcast. I'm kidding. No, it's not. I don't know yet. Maybe that's how I'll get the extra money right there.
You gotta look good for all the Patty shows.
Oh, of course. He's crazy for that. He's crazy. That's a good one. I've never heard that one. But yeah, man, you just have to really experiment. And it's one thing to just absorb all the information, but you just got to do it. And that's why I love traveling too a lot. And I'm sure you'll agree with this, man. Like most of the traveling is just doing.
Oh yeah.
Because you can plan your trips all you want, right? Like imagine you want to do a 5-month excursion in Southeast Asia. I'm gonna be real with you. There's no chance it's 100% gonna fit through the itinerary. It's like stuff is gonna happen. There's gonna be trip delays, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to adjust. You're gonna meet a new friend at a bar, or family member, or whatever. So you spend a little more time with them. Yeah. So it's like that's why traveling is such a beautiful thing. I'm so glad that that you did it too, bro. Because you did for like 5-6 months or something like that. That's amazing. I think that's super recommended, especially when we're young. Single, right? Still single?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Amen, bro. You know what I'm saying? Any shout outs to future baby mama out there? Or?
I hope not. One thing I'll say about traveling, though, is like one thing that I learned about myself. That's another thing why you should travel, because you learn about yourself.
Absolutely.
You learn about your own routine.
Introspection, too, yeah.
Is that like that amount of traveling was so hectic for me. Because like you're constantly moving around.
Yeah.
I need that like level of stability, And so, yeah, I mean, life is trial and error. And so I encourage you, wake up early, travel a little bit, that
experiment a little bit.
You have to experiment,
And that's awesome, brother. Taking the risk too. And we mentioned it like while we're young, no kids that we know of, no relationships, all that. That's why he went to Perth, yo. That's the real reason. He said, no comment. No comment.
Cousin Hez. Shout out Cousin Hez.
There we go. Shout out Cousin. But yeah, man, because you really don't. know who you are until you kind of like go through certain situations. Like,
Yeah.
like when it comes to traveling, for example, like when there's delays and everything, it tests your patience.
Yeah.
Let's just say that, and it helps build more character. And when you start living life more, you just become a better person, more well-rounded. And I think in entertainment as well, I'm sure like you'd agree with this with like the writing and everything. That's how you get inspiration. There's no way you can write an amazing feature film or whatever if you're just in a box and just staying in your little corner.
Right. You got to live.
You got to live life, man. You got to live life. I love that, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of living life, my man, do you have any quotes that inspire you in the morning, or any, like, maybe not like exact quotes that you memorize on top of the head?
Yeah.
Maybe like athletes or like people that motivate you, that kind of go in your mind whenever you have to do like work, like, oh, I have to write this new page for my short film or whatever. Anything like that?
No, it's funny that you were mentioning, like, because we were just talking briefly, like, before we started recording, that you said, like, you mentioned, like, Kobe. And that was actually a quote that I had in my head before I even stepped foot in here, which was, it's not an exact quote, I'm, like, paraphrasing, but there's a couple things that Kobe said that really resonated, because he was, like, obviously a stellar athlete and just one of the greatest competitors of all time, which was, like, what is it, like, he's found success at every level of basketball. There's seasons where like he misses the playoffs. There's seasons where he's close to winning the championship. There's seasons where he does. Yeah. And he says, like, no matter what, you get up the next morning, you have to do it all over again. Like, he lost, whatever, he loses game 7 or whatever. You got to wake up and do it all over again. You win the championship. Guess what? The next day, you have to go up. You have to defend that title. You have to do it all over again. And so that's just like, that's just life, like, that's the thing that, and why like doing sports and activities like that is so important as a kid, because it teaches you those lessons of like, you're never 100% comfortable. You have to get up and do it all over again. I finished filming. Guess what? I have another project. I have to get up and do it all over again. And so, and it can be overwhelming. And this is another thing that Kobe says, which is like, when you're faced with the world in front of you, you have to put one foot in front of the other, break it down piece by piece, go back to the basics, and just take it one step at a time. Take it one step, put one foot in front of the other, get a shot up, and this isn't obviously just a basketball thing, like write a page, write 2 pages, write something that you don't even like. Write something that like you're just like, whatever. I just have to throw something. Sorry, I just knocked my mic, but I just have to throw something out there, just to get my mind moving. Because what do they say about sharks, right? When a shark stops moving, it dies. Sharks have to keep moving. Now, I'm not saying oh, you got to be a shark. But no, like you sharks in the sense that like you have to be a go-getter. Sharks are go-getters, and you have to keep moving, and sometimes they don't always move in the way of like where their next meal is, but they just move anyways. And so that's maybe one of the things that like traveling for a long time taught me, is like if I let myself settle into like a rut for too long, that it's going to internalize, it's going to build, and it's just going to demotivate me. Yeah. And then with that, it's like also stacking it too. Because if you stay so stagnant, before you know it, you're just going to sink, because you're literally not moving, just whoop. And I love how you mentioned, like, sometimes you just have to do something crappy as long as it's taking one step, right? Like, let's say it's in the gym and you're like, oh man, I don't want to work out today. Even if you just do like 1 rep, it's better than nothing. Because most likely you'll do one, you're like, man, I'll do another one. Exactly. And then I'll do another one. And it's like all that habit stacking kind of thing, and just boom, 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 and just becomes part of your identity. And win or lose, like you mentioned what Kobe said, shout out to Kobe, over there. Win or lose, he could win the championship. The next day, he's going to practice with ice on his knees. Like, this guy is crazy, Like, I always love that interview. I forget which game it is, but he's like, so Kobe, you guys are up, was it 3-1 or something like that? Or like, was it 2-1? Whenever I forgot which series it was. He's like, yeah, but the job's not finished yet. Yeah. Job's not finished yet. Like, I love that line. Game 2 or 3 after the NBA, the 2009 NBA Finals. Yeah. I'm a nerd about this. I mean, you West Coast boy, bro, so you lived through it. Yeah. So that must have been crazy, actually, like watching it live and everything. will admit I did not start watching basketball until like just after that.
Oh damn,
2012.
Still like close enough.
But I know,
yeah, of course, of course.
No, of course.
But yeah, that whole idea of like, you know, job's not finished yet, and obviously sometimes burnout is a thing. I would agree, yeah. But there's also waves in life, especially when we're young, bro. When we're in an industry that's so cutthroat, that's like the people that make it to the upper echelons of this, bro, like entertainment is like slim.
Yeah.
You know, and to be honest, most of them are like nepo babies. You know, so if we aren't that, we have to work 10, 20, 30, 50 times harder. And it does sound scary and intimidating, but if it's something that you love, you have a passion for, hey man, we're willing to die for that, man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then that's amazing, man. I love that quote. Shout out Kobe, man.
Shout out Kobe.
Man, you know, maybe in the afterlife we'll have him on the podcast. You know, that'd be cool. AI, bro. AI Kobe interview.
Nah, bro. Nah.
that would be crazy. I don't know if anyone would. They'd probably not let me do that, to be honest.
I wouldn't let you do that. That would be like.
I did actually. I forgot. I think this was like when the early stages of AI, kind of like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They were talking about having like Michael Jackson performances.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's like so much controversy because like the rights to his voice, I guess, are under somebody or something. I don't know the whole thing. But like, yeah, it's crazy. AI has been super advanced. I also work for it, so shout out to them. They pay for the bills.
Shout out to Bills.
Yeah, shout out to the Bills, man. Adult life is ghetto, man. Oh my goodness. I wish we were back home, you know, just playing soccer and all the simple stuff. Second talking point, though, the Patty Show, my man. Spreading love and kindness to women. Not the to women part. He was like, whoa.
What?
He's like, what?
Huh?
But shout out to all the women out there, too. We appreciate you, you know, especially on the travels. Y'all super kind.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I would say like I've definitely met like throughout my life there's been some very powerful like female figures for sure. And that have like inspired me, taught me things and stuff like that. So.
Absolutely, especially the teaching part. Shout out to you. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I feel like, I mean, women have like a very different experience on the world, and so like it's humbling to learn that experience, and obviously like, you know, it's cool at the same time. It's eye-opening. No,
absolutely. And that's why traveling is cool, because you get to meet so many different people. Guys, girls, whoever you identify as. Different experiences. It's a unique time. I got him over there. Okay. Let's talk point. Bro. I told you, he wasn't ready. How does kindness transform relationships?
Oh, I mean, just from the get-go, I mean, like if we're talking about like you're just meeting somebody, right? Like, I guess I wouldn't be the best person to ask because like I'm notoriously bad at giving first impressions, but you always want to be kind, you know, and that just like that opens people up so much more. And one thing I learned about myself is I love connecting with other people. I'm very much a humanist in that regard. Like I love, you know, I think people are the most important things to people. And so when you first meet someone, reaching a level of like vulnerability where you can have like a decent conversation with them and connect with them is important. It's good for their mental health. It's good for your mental health. And you start that process by being kind. You know, you start that process by showing that you're a kind person, you're an accepting person, you're someone that you could rely on, you're someone that you could lean on, you know. And obviously like you want to see that in other people. And obviously we know we don't always get that from other people.
Absolutely.
But it's important to go out, and the very next interaction that you have, you kind of forget that even happened. You have to, you know, be kind all over again, you know. And what is it? You attract more flies with honey. So you have to be sweet to people, and you know, don't be a pushover, but be sweet.
Yeah.
Be kind and firm in your stance. And I feel like being kind and opening myself up is what found me like different communities that I now belong to.
Absolutely.
I met a lot of the people in college I did because they were kind to me and I was kind to them, and we're still kind to each other to this day. And we motivate each other, and we go out and we have fun with each other, you know, outside of film stuff, and we've just become friends. And I feel like I've needed that, friends that really respect me, and they do, and I feel like I've found a place, and I'm glad that with other friends as well, including yourself and stuff, and your brother, and you know, that kindness that we show to each other, like it obviously like helps build our friendship.
Absolutely.
And I will say, like, for you guys at home that don't know Patty and his brother, like, these guys are the most positive people. Like, what was it? We were at the park like last week.
Oh, yeah, for Cody's little birthday reveal. Yeah,
shout
thanks
out
for coming
Cody
again, bro. By the way.
Oh yeah, no, that was fun. That was fun. But like, these guys were just introducing me as like, this guy's the mastermind behind it. Like, just that little note of positivity. I'm like, you know, it puts minds at ease. And then I met your friend Cassie there, and
she's
everything.
on the podcast as well. Shout out to her.
Nice, shout out Cassie. Yeah, and we were just kind to each other, and hopefully, you know, and that was really cool too. And so, meeting people, being kind to people, and creating new connections is what being human is all about.
I love it, man.
Flowers. Sorry, that was a big like roundabout answer.
I love that answer, bro. Flowers again. Flowers. Bro, shout out to you, man. I swear, the kindness part, I love that you mentioned that, because in this industry that we love, there's a lot of people you work with that you don't want to work with again. But every person that like talks about you, bro, they're like, oh, Max is the homie, Max. So, and I'm like, yeah, he's the homie, because, bro, you always brought the good energy, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, man. First time we met, it was just like vibes, bro. I feel like I know you for a minute, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, even when we were doing like random stuff, like when we were hooping with the little kids, you know, like, for y'all didn't know, he's a hooper over here. Like, hey, the footwork's good there, man. You know, pump fake, you know, action, all that. But it was fun, man. We're just playing with these little kids, man. And that was also funny about the whole experience. You remember when, what is it? The dad, there was like a Hispanic dad.
Oh my god.
so okay, so let's paint it out. So we're in the park playing basketball, shooting around. There's like this little Asian kid that reminds me of Arnold when he was younger, and this other Asian kid that reminds me of me, honestly. The one that reminds me of Arnold was my teammate, and I think I forgot his name, but he was the one that was saying how he was trying to like set up everyone like, oh, you're guarding him, whatever. Yeah. He talks to this Hispanic kid, like, yo, tell your dad to guard him, and the kid goes, he speaks English.
I think his dad was like born in America.
Yeah. He's like, oh, hey, he speaks English. I started dying, bro.
Oh my god, bro.
That was the funniest thing, man. But that's the beauty of life. You never know what you're gonna experience. You know, at the park at what's it, Pan Pacific Park? Pan Pacific Park near the Grove. You know, shout out to that. But man, yeah, flowers to you, man. Always bring the best energy on set, offset. Everyone loves working with you, man. That's why you have so many goddamn projects, bro. I didn't know you also did the editing for this other one and all the other stuff. Like, it's insane, man. So it helps a lot having kind people, especially in this industry where like there is a lot of shallow people, all that stuff.
It's very tough. There's a lot of negativity out there in the industry and everything, and from other filmmakers, from like critics,
a lot of fakeness too, which is unfortunate, because I feel like that's the worst thing too. Because it's one thing if you already know they're like not the vibe already, so you're okay. But if they're like, oh yeah, we should hang out, never hits you up. Like,
if you're a dick, like. I can respect that. You're a dick.
Like, all right, I know I'm never gonna talk to you. Like, you ain't coming on a bad show. Yeah. But then if it's like you think you're vibing and you try to hit them, just flaking all that. It's just, I don't know. Comment what you think is worse. You know, like it's like a push and pull, like a teasing kind of thing. You know, so I'm glad that you're a real one, bro. We always hit you up, and then you're always there.
Yes,
despite all the crazy traveling, my brother. You know how it is. You know, we're locked in LA. West Coast dreams. Our final talking point today, my man. Speaking of positivity, sustaining that positivity, you know, it can be really draining, like we mentioned, all that negative BS, all the fake people, whatever. But do you have any like mindful practices that calm your mind? We did talk about like the spiritual element of Indonesia and everything. Anything that you adopted maybe from your travels? Meditation maybe, or stuff like that?
I brought home some incense, and now I'm burning incense.
Oh, nice, bro. Okay.
It just makes the place smell nice. I like that a lot. But from Indo, yeah, but not in the way that you like. I didn't learn it from like Indonesian culture, but like obviously my experience there. I just learned in terms of mindfulness, and I'm still working on it. Like it's very much a work in progress. So I'm not an authority on this at all. I mean, I'm barely 25, so like I'm still figuring everything out. But just from what I've learned so far, it's just like the negative thoughts that you have, the negative thoughts that I have, the negative thoughts that we all have. It there is a usefulness to it in the sense that like you need to keep yourself humble, keep yourself aware of your shortcomings so you can improve on it. But it's very much like playing with fire. You need fire. You need fire to be warm, to cook food, but it can take over your whole house. And just like that, those negative thoughts, like you need it to kind of keep you in check every now and then. But it can consume your entire being if you're not careful. And I'm not gonna pretend like I know like how to keep those thoughts in check.
Yeah, of course.
I think like honestly, like touching grass is like one of the best ways for me. Like you have to go out with people and just like just be in a positive environment for at least a little bit of time. That helps. But like you it's like really learning how to keep those negative thoughts in check. And one of the things that I learned recently was like, don't trust your thoughts late at night. Because I feel like late at night is like when I personally like, that's when I start to spiral. That's when I start to like have these like moments of like insecurity and like, oh, was I kind to this person? Was I a dick to this person? Was I, am I doing enough in my life? And it's always good to ask yourself, like, was I kind to this person? Am I doing enough? But when you start beating yourself up over it, it's not nice. And so, in terms of like mindfulness, and staying positive, I would just say like, I'm still figuring out how to stay positive, but I would say one of the things to kind of not stay negative is to be aware of negative, be aware of your negativity and limit it. Everybody has those thoughts. It's normal. It's fine, but you just can't let it get too much. And it's dangerous.
Yeah. Have the fire hydrant ready.
Exactly. You have to learn there was recently, like I was going through one of these spirals and I caught myself, and I feel like at home, like if you can learn just to catch yourself, that's like a good first step. I caught myself and I was like, that's not a true thought of mine. That's not really how I feel. That's whatever. That's the negative energy talking. That's the jinn. That's that's the demons talking. Whatever you want to like say that is.
Describe it as whatever. Everyone has different ways to.
That's what that is. I have to like, okay, you've done enough. Yeah. All right.
It's time to go in your little corner now.
You're getting a little bit too.
Put the hydrant on.
You're getting a little bit too bold, So we got to put you back in your model a little bit. And so that's how I would say I've started to maintain positivity.
Bro, that awareness. I mean, we mentioned it earlier with you talking about when you were in Bali and you felt like you were in a low rut. But honestly realizing there is a problem, there is a little demon or whatever, is already like 100 steps ahead. Because if you don't realize you have it, what ends up happening is the whole house burns down. Because if you don't know where that source is, it's just gonna slowly burn from the corner, and then everything's gone. And I love how you mentioned like at nighttime, those thoughts, man. Woo, man. We like to call them demon time. Demon time. Let's just say, sometimes you reach for your phone and then you like think in your head, like, man.
There are many bad decisions made.
Yes, whatever it is, maybe texting somebody, or somebody's. I don't know. Not from personal experience, of course. We try to stay aware.
No.
Not at all.
I've just heard things.
You just heard things, theoretically, on a hypothetical scale. But yeah, man, like you have to acknowledge like these thoughts are from something else, and you just kind of. Obviously, it's easier said than done to like push them to the side. Yeah. Because in the heat of the moment, you're gonna be like so overwhelmed. But like we were talking about, like trial and error, practice living through life. Like you can listen to so much self-help stuff and whatever, but if you don't personally, honestly, go through it a little bit, and it sounds great. Like you have to go through like the turbulence and whatnot. Before you know it, you're gonna have thicker skin. You're gonna know how to approach these challenges again in the future when it happens, because it will happen again. Yeah. Our life won't be perfect until like we reach a higher being, whatever you guys believe in, whatever. So just having that thick skin eventually, and also just, what is it called? It's like when you're playing basketball, you run the play, and before you know, you can do it with your eyes closed. Yeah. That kind of thing, man. Wow, a little awareness over here. Okay.
And speaking of quotes, yes, shout out Joey Badass for this quote.
What's the quote?
First step of change is to take notice. So, I mean, he was talking about something else, but he was talking about whatever. But like in your life, like that's what matters too. Like it applies to your life as well. It's like I have a problem with this, but the fact that I know that I have a problem is the first step in solving that problem. So,
man, my man got bars today. We have to quote him. Harrison, Maximilian. What's the other names again, bro?
Dharmawan Raharja.
Dharmawan. Yeah, Dharmawan. Raharja. Tepper. There you go. Look at that. Quotes left and right.
Crazy.
Man, you got it all, man. Do you have any like inspiration that you want to give to those young filmmakers out there and maybe people that want to travel? Any kind of like things to wrap up in a little bow to tell them?
Yeah, I'll say I'll break it down for filmmakers, young filmmakers. Think. You guys gotta think. I realize now, like when I was a little bit younger, the reason why like I would film something and it wasn't quite how I imagined it was because I didn't think enough. Like you have to think of all the variables. You have to think about like what is it going to be like on that day on set? What's the weather going to be like? Can I pull off this camera move? You know, and then also think like, you know, you want to make a change to the story. Does it keep the same story intact? You know, you have to find what's at the core of your story. And if any changes that, because you will have to make changes on set. That's just the way that filming goes. Like it's a hectic process, but you have to stay true to what your story is. And it's not going to be 100% your vision, but how much can you change before it starts to dilute it? And it's a balance, and it's a learning experience, but you have to think about it first. Think of the variables, think about what matters, think about how to control, keep things within your control. And then, so that's for young filmmakers. For people that want to travel, I would say like, in terms of like saving money and whatever, get a credit card with miles, with like airline miles.
Shout out Chase and Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
What's in your wallet? Like, yeah. That's Capital One. Chase, I forgot what Chase's motto is.
Sapphire or something?
Yeah, I love
Chase's,
what is their catchphrase?
I forgot.
I don't know. It's probably gonna be Patty Show. That's the new catchphrase because they're gonna sponsor us. Amen. You know all that good stuff.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. All the wood. But yeah, you said get the miles. Yep.
Yeah. So in terms of that, you know, you have to stay vigilant to deals. In terms of traveling, though, I would say like, besides like the money stuff, open yourself up. You know, find out what kind of traveler you are, because not everybody is meant to travel with everybody else. Some people are vacationers, some people are travelers. Yeah, there's a difference right there.
Absolutely, I agree.
And so some people just want to go to a beach and like sit,
and that's completely cool. Yeah,
I'm the type of guy like I want to see every corner of the city.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to figure that out, and be open minded too. Just kind of have like an itinerary of like, I think life is all about balance, you know. Of course, you have to have an itinerary of like the things that you want to see, and you have to ultimately decide some days like, okay, maybe I'll give this up to go to like this niche little like jazz club or whatever.
Because there's a lot of stuff that pops up out of nowhere too,
yeah.
You know?
And you want to meet people. If you want to travel cheaply, like go to hostels.
Oh yeah, shout out to the hostels.
Shout out to hostels. Woo, man. They're a great place to meet people.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then you meet people. You go on adventures with them.
Absolutely.
Shit like that. So, I mean, there's just open yourself up to new experiences and do some research before.
Of course.
I've been to places where I'm like, I didn't do enough research. I don't know what the hell to do right now. And then I'm like, I missed that. I missed that. So do a little bit of research, open yourself up to possibilities. And honestly, like, just get ready. Just get ready, because like you're going to have stories to tell. A
lot of stories, man.
Yeah.
We could have a couple episodes with the crazy stories he's been through. And
this guy too.
Oh yeah, and our future adventures in where are we going? We're going Thailand, maybe.
Thailand,
Bali again, of course.
Yeah,
Sweden,
Bali got to do Bali.
Australia, though, bro. I need to go, bro. Like
Australia's cool.
Oh man,
Australia's cool.
Shout out to my future baby mamas. Anyway, I love that. Thanks again for coming to Patty Show, bro. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Bottom of my heart. Thanks again, bro.
Arigato.
All that good stuff. You know, all the good stuff. And bro, man, I love that what you mentioned about like the thinking part, bro. You know, think to be an alpha male. You know what I'm saying? That's right.
Wait.
Sorry. I just got in character from a little teaser when the short film comes out. You know, but I love that when you're talking about just like, hey man, think it through and just take it step by step. This filmmaking is definitely a big process. It's a lot of things, and y'all can do it. Keep doing your thing. This man's inspiring me, inspiring a lot of people. Keep doing your thing, brother.
Please.
And
I get inspiration from people around me. So
appreciate you, man. Patty Show is so grateful to have you here finally. And of course, we're gonna travel more again soon. Keep traveling too, bro. You're young, do your thing. Proud of you. Keep grinding. What are the socials again? It's at Max.
Max. Instagram is _Max Tepper _ again.
There we go.
I'm super easy to find. So
of course, and you can find us at Patty Show Podcast, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Of course, subscribe, like all that stuff. PattySetiadi.com/podcast, PattyShow.podbean.com. All the good stuff. Our next episode is gonna be a little fun one, maybe a little birthday special coming up.
Ooh.
Can't tease too much, but yeah, I'm so grateful for you, my man. Let's end off with a little arigato on 3. Okay, whenever you're ready. 1, 2, 3. Arigato. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining me on this episode of The Patty Show. I hope you had as much fun as I did exploring the crossing point of the 3 Ps: passion, pleasure, and positivity. If you want to keep the Patty Party going, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all social platforms at Patty Show Podcast. Share this episode and leave a positive review. PattySetiadi.com/podcast, as well as PattyShow.podbean.com, have got more of your Patty Show needs. In the meantime, keep passionately pursuing your personal paradise. Arigato.